9440.
4405.
9440 405
All right, thank you for joining us again. Welcome back, crime fighters, for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping us lock up some of the bad guys. And I'm Chris Wright, along with our Sheriff, Matthew Wade. Good to see you, Sheriff.
It's always good to be on the show, Chris.
I know it's been an interesting time here recently for a lot of different reasons, and we don't want to get into political discussions and such, but let's talk for a second about staying focused in the job that you and your deputies are doing right now.
Absolutely. You know, our job is to serve, and I preach that every day. You know, our job is to serve others, and that's in a variety of different ways. We unlock cars, we come and help people with animal problems. We do a wide array of things, and you know, and these are difficult times that the sheriff's office, the sheriff, me, and our people need to stand up and prove to the people that we're here to do good.
And when I say staying focused, that doesn't necessarily mean staying focused on doing things the same way they've always been. It means staying focused on doing your job to the best that it can be. You and your predecessor, Larry Emerson, have both done a really good job of making changes throughout the years and trying to make the sheriff's office the best it can be at this moment.
Absolutely. You know, being sheriff, people get to elect me. And so it makes us very sensitive to what the people want. We do serve the people, and at the people's pleasure. If we don't do it very well, they'll find somebody else to be their sheriff, and I really enjoy being sheriff and helping others, and want to do a good job, more importantly, than being sheriff. And it's written on our wall is servant's heart, and we got to have that, and I don't want it to be a slogan. I want it to be what we live each and every day.
Yeah.
And so our deputies, we drive that home every day.
And of course, you don't define what your job is. There are some areas where you have some discretion on how you and your deputies perform the duties, but for the most part, your job is defined by the laws that are passed in the legislature.
Absolutely. You know, a good example of that is if there's no noise ordinance. Cities have noise ordinance. An ordinance means a city council can pass something. We don't have that ability. We have to follow state law, and there's no state law against noise. We've been working with some citizens in our community, trying to figure out a way to help them where they have people that are upsetting their neighborhood, and we're working with those communities on that. But our what we follow is determined by the legislature and the state law.
But again, there is always some discretion in how a job is done, and you continually look at how you can adjust that discretion to use it the best way possible.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's talk about the work that our viewers have done. 4 more arrests this week.
I tell you what, they've never let us down. Brings our count up to 4,577 people put in jail because you were willing to help us. We thank you. I've said this for many years, even before this. We got to do this together. We can't be successful without the citizens, and we exist to serve them, not the other way around.
All right, so we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
In the United States, a home is burglarized about every 23 seconds. There are ways that you can make your home safer and not be a victim. You can invest in an alarm system, add security cameras, or get a smart doorbell. Either one or all are helpful. Be sure to keep your systems working. Even a fake security sign might deter a would-be burglar. Keep your doors and windows locked. Install a deadbolt. And always keep your garage door closed and that kitchen door locked. We aren't living in great-grandma's time anymore, and those days are long gone. Verify who is at your door when your doorbell rings. If you don't want to answer the door, that's okay. Let the person know you are there. Turn the TV on, talk to your dog, or even tell them you can't answer the door right then. Don't let a possible burglary turn into a home invasion. You need to light up the dark. Install motion sensor lights. Contact the power company for a dusk to dawn light for your yard. And remember, it doesn't matter where you live or where you park your car, always lock your vehicle. Criminals are looking for unlocked cars. Don't leave items in your car that may entice a thief to break a window and steal. Don't leave your garage door opener in your car either. If possible, keep an additional car parked in your driveway when you are away. Make it appear that someone is at home. You can join or organize a neighborhood watch program. And remember, if you are a victim of a burglary or a theft of property, call your local law enforcement office right away to file a report. For more information, you can call me, Nancy Hilton, at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office, 256-236-6600.
All right, here we go with the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. If you have information to share about anyone in this lineup, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. Starting with Mark Thompson of Anniston, he's wanted on a bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance, as well as failure to appear warrants for possession of a controlled substance and illegal possession of credit or debit cards. Dennis Sims of Anniston, wanted on bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance. Angela Hollis of Anniston, wanted on passing bad checks, negotiating with a non-negotiable instrument. Joshua Chestnut of Anniston, wanted on failure to appear warrants for possession of marijuana second degree and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Dunn or Donnie Layton Jr. of Anniston, wanted on a failure to appear warrant for use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And Bridget Holcomb of Anniston, wanted for failure to pay for chemical endangerment of minor. If you have information that can help us find anyone in this lineup, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. All right, we'll have the second half of this week's lineup coming up in just a few minutes, but right now we are joined on set by a woman who is making it her mission to destroy the mustache of the mayor of Weaver. Angie McVeigh is the public affairs coordinator for the chamber in Calhoun County, which has got a much longer name now that I can never remember the full name of it, but
okay.
Visitors Bureau and all that stuff. But you were involved with the public affairs, so define what that means for us, Angie.
Public affairs was a division of the chamber that's been created to work with our state, our local, and our national legislators to kind of help bridge the gap, to fill in our membership and to let folks know what's going on, things that are coming through that you may not hear about otherwise, and to help do some stuff. And we've encompassed, some broader aspects, with elections and things like that.
And of course, that's a two-way street. That's information coming from our legislators and representatives and such. It's also information that we're sending to them. And one way that right now that we're sending information to them is through the census, which has been going on, and a lot of people watching have already dealt with the census. They've put their information in, but a lot of people still haven't, right?
That is true. And if they have completed the census, yay, we say thank you so much. But if they haven't, they still have time. October 31st is our end date, but right now Calhoun County is sitting at about 61% completion rate. Alabama overall had 72% in 2010. We have to pass 72% or not good things will come our way. We'll lose representation, we'll lose money.
No. If we do get a good representation, then somebody's going to lose his mustache. That's what I was talking about with the mayor of Weaver, Wayne Willis. He's promised to shave his mustache if the population of Weaver, how many of them participate?
He put it out there, a little challenge, that if Weaver gets to 80%, that is our goal as a county, is to get to at least 80% participation rate. And Mayor Willis did put it out there that he would shave his mustache that apparently has been with him quite a while.
Sheriff, that's been back, I think, middle school that he grew that, wasn't it?
I'm sure. I think he's about 12 years old. I think he's had it since then. So.
I think so.
So that'd be interesting to see that go by the wayside. That's having some fun, but for the sheriff's office, this is very important.
It's very important, for funds to come to Calhoun County. I'm not sure of the exact number, but I think it's a large sum of money that comes to Calhoun County to be used for all sorts of things for each person that's registered through the census. And like you said, it determines our representation in Washington, the number of electoral college votes that we have for elections. So this is a very important thing. So.
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the things that we've been focused on trying to do to get people involved and get people to do this?
Well, we have been out and about doing various events. We know COVID kind of put a halt on some of those things, but we have started getting back out, trying to reach our groups that typically, historically, have been undercounted. Young children, impoverished areas, minority groups. We're trying to reach them. We're going to Any event, any public event we can, we're planning events. The school feeding programs we're participating in. We are trying to reach people through their churches, just to get everyone involved.
Let's talk for a second about how this actually impacts individual households. For example, schools, they need that funding. The census helps determine how that funding is going to happen. We'll every once in a while see people say, okay, we need a new tax for our schools. And a lot of people say, no, I don't want to pay that tax. Well, okay. If you didn't fill out the census, you may be the reason why that tax is needed.
Absolutely. If you have 1,000 kids in one school, but only 620 of them have been registered, then you're missing out on the other 380 that you could have got money for. But we didn't get money for it because nobody filled out the census.
And that's money coming in at the state level,
Federal
and at
level.
the county level, and all down. So that's just one example of how this is not just something that it does affect how many representatives we have in Congress, but it also gets down to the nuts and bolts.
Oh, it absolutely does. It affects what businesses are going to come to our state, and more specifically our county, to set up shop. If they see we're a growing county, they want to come. How many daycares, nursing homes we're going to have? You know, if we have a growing population, are we going to need another high school? All of that on top of, with schools, education grants, things like that, all come from the census.
So if I wanted to see, say, a Milo's or a Jim and Nick's or whatever, and I don't fill out the census, that may be the reason that they don't come, because the numbers that they're looking at don't add up.
That is it, exactly. Each person, the state has a survey that was done by George Washington University. Each person basically is worth around $1,600 per person per year for the federal dollars. So if one person doesn't fill out their census until the next census comes along, that's $16,000 the state is missing, which means that's what the county's missing. That's a program that may or may not happen because they didn't have the funding.
That's per an individual.
Yes, individuals, $16,000 over the course of the 10 years until the next census.
Sheriff, $16,000 impacts your budget, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. You know, this family of 4, which is what I am, you're looking at over, $60,000. So that's a lot of money.
All right, well, we need to take a break. We want to talk some more about this when we come back here in just a few moments here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. All right, here is the second half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Terry Horton of Anniston is wanted on probation revocation for burglary, 3rd degree. Kyle Thrasher of Piedmont wanted for theft of property, 4th degree. Dylan Grizzard of Oxford wanted on a probation violation for obstruction of justice using a false ID. Sean Giles of Oxford wanted for promoting prison contraband, 2nd degree. Antonio McGee of Oxford wanted for menacing, criminal mischief, 2nd degree, and permitting dogs to run at large. If you can help us find anybody in the lineup, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. We want your information, not your name. All right, we'll have the Crime Stopper segment of the show coming up in just a few minutes, talk about some property crimes that hopefully you can help us solve, and also we've got our Crazy Criminal of the Week. Angie McVeigh is with us right now talking about the census that is still ongoing as we go through the summer. We're still asking people who haven't participated yet to participate in the census. And Angie, I know one reason that people may choose not to or be shy about doing is that they may be concerned about their information becoming public in some way. But from what you were telling us off the air, they take this very seriously about sharing this information. You could even go to jail, couldn't you, if you share it?
Yes. This information that is given is protected. Title 13 under the U.S. Code, information cannot be shared with any government agency, not the FBI, not the CIA, not even local law enforcement. If you share that information, it's jail time and up to a $250,000 fine. The information is kept under lock and key 72 years. It can only be used for statistical purposes.
And if you violate that, I know a good prosecutor that might do something to you about that.
Full disclosure, Angie's husband is the district attorney for Calhoun and Cleveland County. So
A tough DA would do something.
might have to get somebody else to handle that case. I don't know.
I don't know, he might be trying to get rid of her. You never know.
Possibly. Let's talk about online, because it used to be different how you would participate, but now we can go online and be done with it it took me maybe, it's been a little while because I did it early on, maybe 2 minutes.
It's very easy to do online. I did it online, and I was shocked about how easy and quick. I was like, this is it? I mean, it was really very simple to do.
Oh, it's very easy. There's 10 questions. May take you 6 or 7 minutes if you have multiple people in your household. Generally though, 2 or 3 minutes and you're done. You can go online. It's a very secure site. Your information is protected. You can also respond over the phone. Online though, way to go.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned the phone. People might not realize that you may end up getting a phone call. If you don't participate, you might get that phone call. If you do participate, you're less likely to get the phone call, but you may still get a phone call. And we want to make sure that people don't get scammed by somebody pretending to be from the census. So don't give out information that you shouldn't be giving out.
The census doesn't ask for your social security number.
No, they're not going to ask for that.
They're not going to ask for personal information.
They're not going to want your banking account or anything like that.
No.
But you may get a call from the census to clear up something on your question about, is this person actually in your household, or are they in a different county or something at this time?
Yes, you could get a phone call, say with, schools counseling and, classes going online. A lot of college students came home. You may get a phone call if you counted your college student at home, but you answered the question. Yes, they could possibly be counted somewhere, because if they had been in another county, they would have been counted in that dorm in that county. So you could get a phone call about that, or if there's a question they have about information, that's why they do ask for a phone number. It's not to track you, it's just to ask for clarification.
So if that's legitimate, be able to answer those questions, but also be alert that some people may be making some phone calls asking for stuff that's not legitimate.
Never give out banking information or your social security number. Those are standard. Never send anybody any money. Never wire anybody any money. And law enforcement's not going to come arrest you if you don't do your census. Now, we want you to do it, but it's not a crime.
Yeah, so if that phone call is threatening you with legal action and such, they're not legitimate.
You know what? Hang up and call the sheriff's office. We'll steer you straight.
Okay. Well, Angie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, folks, please, if you haven't already, fill out your census information. We need that information so that we can get the tax dollars back here in Calhoun County for the next 10 years. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have our crazy criminal of the week, as well as several property crimes that hopefully you can help us with. All right, let's see if you can help us solve some property crimes recently committed here in Calhoun County. During the early hours of June 8th, 5 cars were broken into at 3 different residences on Reagan Chapel Road in Ohatchee. A wallet with its contents, a Field 9mm, and a Rock Island 10mm pistol were stolen. On June 7th, a burglary was reported at a residence on Charity Circle in Piedmont. A Jimenez .22 caliber pistol and some cash were stolen. An unknown male wearing dark clothing and a surgical mask was seen running from the scene. Between June 5th and June 6th, a black and blue 2006 Suzuki GSX 750 motorcycle was stolen from a residence on Moana Drive in Alexandria. On June 7th, a burglary occurred on the old Anniston-Gadsden Highway in Ohatchee. Fishing gear and hand tools were taken. A silver car with an unknown male and female were seen leaving the residence. Between May 23rd and June 6th, a theft of property was reported at a residence located on Jason Trace in Anniston. A Husqvarna backpack blower, a weed eater, and UPS delivered packages were stolen. If you can help us solve any of these cases or other crimes committed in Calhoun County, please call Calhoun County Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, so Sheriff, we've got an individual this week that went into a supermarket and decided to steal an item that cost like $5.65, I think. And it set off an alarm, so he takes off running, but he forgot something. A lot of times criminals will forget and leave something at the scene of the crime.
Their wallet, their ID, those are two popular items.
Yeah. How about a child?
Oh.
Yeah. He left his 8-year-old child behind at the store.
That's rough right there.
I feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, that's terrible. You know, I don't know what he was stealing, but you can't say he was stealing food for the baby. He left the baby.
Yeah. He also, to make matters even worse, as he's leaving, he trips, falls. He ended his day at the hospital.
Rightfully so, probably. You're leaving your child because you stole something for $5.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That may end up in a custody hearing.
Hey, I think that'll be in a custody hearing. you know, definitely a DHR case will be involved in that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, don't commit crimes, but if you are going to commit crimes, please don't take the kids along with you.
Yes, absolutely.
They don't need to be a part of that. All right, that's all the time that we have for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.